ever been in that situation? You're trying to run away from things, but you run right into God. See, at that particular point, his life was changed and his name was changed to Israel. And so we see Israel now going through a process, because before he became Israel, he was working for his relative Laban, and he had two daughters. Laban had two daughters. One was ugly and one was cute. Now, how many of us guys know? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, there's some sisters out there. It's like, okay, oh, you fine. Let me introduce you to my sister. Like, okay, why? Well, he had Laban had one ugly daughter and one beautiful daughter, and Jacob, or Israel, fell in love with her, with Rachel. And so Rachel, coming up, she was barren. And so the reality is that, he took Leah, he was tricked out of it. Just think about this. He was tricking all of his life, and then what happened? He got tricked into doing something as well. And so that's what it shows us, that you sow, you reap what you sow, basically. And so after that whole process, what happens is that now he works 7 years, then he has to work another 7 years for Rachel. And so when you see that he says that he loved Joseph more than all of his sons, it's not because he was the son of his old age, just that. He was the son, the firstborn son, to the love of his life. The love of his life. So verse 4 says, and his brothers, look at this, saw that their father loved him, Joseph, more than all of his brothers. And so they hated him. And they could not speak on friendly terms to him. Verse 5, then Joseph had a dream. Somebody say a dream. And when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. Verse 6, he said to them, please listen to this dream which I have. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf rose up and stood erect. And behold, your sheaves gathered around and bowed down to my sheep. Get this, verse 8. Then his brother said to him, are you actually going to reign over us, or are you really going to rule over us? So they hated him even more. Get this, for his dreams and for his words. See, when God plants a dream on the inside of you, everybody's not going to like it. When God puts a vision on the inside of you, whether that be for greater things, whether that be for better health, whether that be for better relationships, whether that be for a better job, whether that be for, just more advancement in life. You want to have more peace in your life, so you kick all the crazy people out of your life. How many of you know some people are like, you know what? Oh, now you changed. Like, oh, now we can't talk to you now. No. It's not that. I have a dream that there's something in me that is pushing me out of the norm. It's pushing me out of what's regular. It's pushing me out of the status quo. And it's pushing me to a place of excellence. It's moving me to a place of virtue. It's moving me to a place of power in my life. It's moving me to a place of destiny in my life. See, most of our destinies start with a dream. It starts with God downloading something on the inside of you, a picture that you can see that he's pushing you towards another place. And if he's pushing you towards another place, that means that you got to leave certain places. And see, for Joseph, although he had this dream, this is what I love about it. He didn't allow the hate of somebody else not liking his dream to stop him from dreaming. He had a God-given dream. And of course, we see that this God-given dream is, it's one of these huge things that he said, my sheep rose up and it stood erect, and behold, your sheaves gathered around me and bowed down to my sheep. See, the dream that you have many times causes you to stand out from the crowd. It causes you literally to be separate from everybody else that's been in your family. If I look at my own personal life, this dream in my life, if I look at the things that I'm doing, and I look at the things that the rest of my family has done in my life, in their lives, it's standing out amongst everybody else. I was the very first person, it's not to brag on me, it's to brag on God, because clearly this was only by the grace of God. I was the only male in my family to graduate college. In my entire family. The only one. The ones that actually started ministry. I think I told you guys this last week, that there were some certain people in my family, my father and my grandfather, that were supposed to be in ministry, but yet they stopped there, and God said, okay, now I'm going to put it on you. Will you go the distance? See, God's dream in your life will cause you to separate and be separate from everybody else, but that doesn't mean that everybody's going to like you. Some people are actually going to hate you. And it's not necessarily just because of your dream, it is your position with the Father. It is, they see something different. They're just using your dream as something to point to, but the reality is that they're jealous of your relationship with God. how you stand with him, how you have faith in him, how you have confidence in him. They hate the fact that you are literally favored by God. So God has some great things planned for you. But it will be a fight, and there will be a process. So Joseph is going through this process of his life. That he gets this dream, and he understands this dream, and he now begins to speak the dream. See, sometimes we have to speak the dream out of our mouths in order for us to actually be able to see it. We have to speak what God has said out of our lives. That literally, I am the head and not the tail. I am above only, never beneath. I'm not going to struggle like this for the rest of my life. I will reach the place that God has called me to. Sometimes we have to speak it out of our lives. We got to speak it out of our mouths. But even though you speak it, people hate on you. Look what Joseph did. Verse 9. It says, for he had still another dream, and related it to his brothers, and said, lo, I still have another dream. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down to me. Verse 10. Then he related to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, what is this dream that you have had? Shall I and your mother and your brothers actually come and bow down to ourselves before you to the ground? And get this, verse 11. His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the saying in mind. See, so now we see a hate because of the relationship. Then we have a hate because of the dream. Then we have a hate even more because of the other dream. And now we have a jealousy. See, you got to understand that the process that you are going to have to go through, the very first stop in your process is going to be people. People, right? The very first place that you're going to have to overcome if you're going to get to a place of destiny is people. See, because people will be with you whenever you are at the high rises of your life, but many times people will abandon you when you go down into the basement of your life. I remember hearing a quote, I think it was by Oprah. She said, you know, everybody wants to ride in the limo with you. But you want people in your life that will ride in the limo with you, but will take the bus with you if the limo breaks down. We can't find many people like that because the reality is that everybody's not designed to go through the same process as you. See, your process is different. Your lane is different. Where God has called you is totally different. And you got to be okay with that because God gave you the dream. And he's taking you to his destiny that is designed for you. Now, does this say that we cut off all people? Absolutely not. The reality is that you need people in order to get to a place in your life, but some people you do not need. Some people you do not need to take along with you, like Abraham and Lot. See, God told Abraham to leave his countrymen, right? Leave his family, leave everybody, leave his kindred. And what does Abraham do? Take Lot with him. I remember my wife, of course, maybe I don't see Nova here because she's actually at Woman Thou Art Loosed. So, she was at Woman Thou Art Loosed this last week, but now she's at the Potter's house today. You know, so hopefully I'm preaching better than Bishop today. But the reality is that she said that there was one message that just stuck out to her the most, and it was called, you have a lot to lose. You have a lot to lose. Not a lot, like you'll have a lot to lose. No. You have a person, a person that you've been taking along your journey that you must separate from. Otherwise, that person is going to consume all of the things that God is blessing you with. Your dream requires that you separate from some people that are sucking the life out of you. Yeah, you want to be good to them. Yeah, you want to be kind to them. Yeah, you want to keep them, bring them along. You want to pet them. You want to make sure that they're okay. And the reality is that they're not going to do anything for you but suck things away from you. And so in your dream, what happens is that God begins to separate and begins to show you your work and begins to reveal the hearts, get this, of people. The very first place that you have to overcome is the place of people. So we see that they hated him even more. They had jealousy in their heart towards him. But that did not stop him from dreaming another dream. So you got to understand the hate and the misunderstanding of your people, of the people that are around you. Thank you so very much. The misunderstandings of people around you will not stop God's dream in your life. It will not stop where God wants to take you. It will not stop what he wants to do in your life. So you still there in your Bibles? Turn to Isaiah chapter 55. Because Joseph's life shares with us some lessons that are age old, but they're relevant to our lives today. And I want to just share these quick nuggets with you because all of us understand the very end of Joseph's life, and we're going to go through that whole process. But I want to share some nuggets on this front end because over the next couple of weeks, we're going to really unpack this. So all of us have a God-given dream. So this is what you got to do for your notes.